own your independent voice. We embrace it. Are you willing to accept the challenge? Welcome to Independent Voice. We believe in the power of independent thinking, where truth triumphs over negativity and where your voice can spark change. Join us as we explore the vibrant tapestry of independent voices and open minds, united by a shared goal: to inspire ourselves and others to think, speak, and act with independence and courage. At IV, we are dedicated to amplifying voices that often go unheard. Whether you're here to be informed, contribute, or find inspiration, your voice is vital in shaping the conversation. Together, we can illuminate pathways to a paradigm shift toward independent thinking and strong perspectives. We're harnessing thoughts, igniting change. Subscribe now and unleash the power of your independent voice. Only together we can make a difference that lasts. Let's put forth power behind truth and integrity. Ready to be heard?
Welcome to Independent Voice. Today, we're diving into a deeply personal and universal question. What does freedom truly mean in today's world? To explore that, let's start by understanding why humanity seeks freedom. At its core, the quest for freedom is not simply political. It's personal, it's spiritual, it's about belonging. We begin by considering some of the forces that drives this pursuit. Forces that are often quiet, but deeply destructive. The isms: racism, sexism, ageism, ethnicism, nationalism. Though these may seem like academic terms or social buzzwords, they are, in fact, the silent architects of suffering. They're the hidden chains behind discontent, displacement, and despair from the streets of Los Angeles to the villages of Africa and everywhere in between. And so, as an immigrant, I must say, migration is not merely about changing locations. It's about finding a place to belong. We're not here just to live. We are here to belong. Let this reflection serve as a reminder, through the lens of someone who has lived it, that freedom is not simply a privilege to be enjoyed, but a responsibility to be honored. For those of us who left our homelands behind, freedom was not inherited. It was sought through pain, prayer, and sacrifice. We left behind everything familiar and took a risk many others never returned from. Today's message invites you into a conversation bigger than politics, a reflection on what freedom truly means, what it costs, and what happens when we begin to take it for granted. Let's start with the isms. Racism, a system that privileges one race above others. Its scars can be seen in protests, in legislation, and in general pain. Sexism, discrimination shaped by gender expectations. It manifests in glass ceilings, unequal pay, and silenced leadership. Ageism, often dismissed but powerful, affecting both youth and elders in different ways, from job discrimination to societal irrelevance. Ethnicism, discrimination based on ethnic identity, often fueling civil unrest and violent conflict globally. Nationalism, while pride in one's country can unite, excessive nationalism often leads to exclusion, xenophobia, and war. These isms do more than divide us. They drive the very search for freedom. Because behind every protest, every migration, every cry for justice is a human being seeking the right to exist without fear, shame, or exclusion. Let's talk about a matter of perspective. To understand freedom, we must broaden our lens. In Los Angeles, protests against ICE reflects frustration with immigration systems that dehumanize. Across Africa, citizens wrestle with instability and the erosion of democratic institutions. Places and policies may differ, but the cry is the same. We want peace. We want to belong. We want to be free. The American Constitution speaks of the pursuit of happiness, but for many, that pursuit is blocked by systemic barriers and unfulfilled promises. Emperor Haile Selassie once said, "Until the philosophy which holds one race superior and other inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned, the dream of lasting peace will remain but a fleeting illusion." Let us understand, peace is not the absence of conflict. It is the presence of justice. And this video is not just about migration. It's about freedom itself. The kind that transcends borders, documents, and declarations. As an immigrant, I say this with certainty. I came searching not just for a place to live, but a place to belong. Let me talk about Sea of Hope. And let me speak now of those who didn't make it. Those who drowned in the Sea of Hope, crossing deserts, mountains, oceans, chasing a promise others take for granted. They carried nothing but faith. And for many, that faith was buried in the waves under border fences, under headlines that faded too quickly. They were not reckless. They were brave. They believed in something better. They believed that freedom meant more than survival. It meant dignity, safety, and a future of their children. They were willing to pay the price because staying cost more than leaving. Freedom still has a price. Let me say this now, not as a narrator, but as someone who's lived it. I come from a place where silence was a survival tool, where fear lived in your home, your schools, your breath. I migrated to the United States, a land far from perfect, but one where you can speak freely, protest openly, and dream audaciously. And I cherish that. I still do. Because when you have lived without freedom, you recognize its shape. You feel its weight. You never forget its cost. When I became a citizen, I stood in a room full of hope. People from every nation, every background, pledging allegiance to the flag, and I meant every word. But I must ask, did we all? A pledge is not a formality, it's a covenant. It's not about lip service, it's about legacy. The irony of citizenship. We all still love our homelands, and we should. But we must never forget, we now speak under a new flag. A flag that gave us sanctuary when our homes shook. So yes, advocate, but do it with dignity. With the awareness that the freedom we now enjoy was paid for, often by people we will never meet. True citizenship is not about geography, it's about responsibility. If we abandon that responsibility, we may again find ourselves seeking shelter, not just physically, but morally. Before I close, let me say this from the deepest part of my truth. I am grateful. Grateful for this country, grateful for the chance to become not just a survivor, but a contributor. Grateful to raise my voice, grateful to grow, grateful to belong. And so I speak, not with bitterness, but with responsibility. Because freedom is never free. We are free today because someone paid the price yesterday. With courage, with silence, with blood, and with their lives. The least we can do, live like it matters. Let me give a note on the flag. The flag is not just a cloth. To some, it's a nuance. To others, it's a symbol of unity, sacrifice, and shared freedom. We must not deface it, not because we blindly agree, but because we understand. Freedom includes protest, but not disrespect. Not to the very symbol that allowed you the space to protest at all. To be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. Nelson Mandela. Here's the final charge. From battlefield to identity, to bureaucracies of policy, from burning flags in protest to silenced voices in forgotten villages, this is a journey through the soul of citizenship. And the true price and the promise of freedom. This is Independent Voice, where stories are told with purpose and silence is never mistaken for surrender. If this message moved you, challenged you, or reminded you of what truly matters, share it, discuss it, let it live beyond the screen. Because freedom, justice, and belonging are not just ideals. They are responsibility we all carry. Until next time, I am Mame. Stay thoughtful, stay engaged, and stay independent. Remember, use your voice to make a difference, but never to silence others.